Hi there and welcome to my local woods. I have a question for you. Can you guess which country is the greatest sports nation? Do you know the answer? Some people would guess, China, the USA, maybe Russia, one of these big countries. But the answer might surprise you. And I will give you a hint. Hooray! Or as we say here in Norway, hurra, hurra. In case you find this hard to believe, I will pull up some numbers and statistics on the screen, and I have brought the same numbers here. I'm using the ranking that we call greatest sporting nation per capita cup. That's the 2023 numbers I'm using here. Norway is number one, and that's per capita, which is relative to the population. If it's not relative to the population, Norway is ranked number 13. I am not making this video to brag about Norwegian sports performances, but I think there's a lesson to be learned here. If you have been following my channel, you know that I love to, what's the term, bust some myths. And there is certainly a myth here that needs to be busted. And I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let me tell you a little bit about my background. I have a sports background myself. Powerlifting is my sport. I have competed in international competitions like the Europeans and the Worlds. I've been on the Norwegian national team, and I have set quite a few national records. I'm also a powerlifting coach, and I'm also a personal trainer actually. I don't work as a personal trainer, but I do have that background. And let me add that the Norwegian Federation is part of the International Powerlifting Federation. This is tested, when it comes to doping and so on. I myself, I am a lifetime drug-free athlete. Norway has a population of about 5.5 million, and we excel in sports as different as long-distance running, powerlifting, weightlifting, the winter sports, football, or as the Americans say, soccer, and many, many other sports which I can't remember right now. And how is this possible? And people have been asking this question, and there is something that we can call the Norwegian model. How do we do it differently? So with a population that small, what you need to do is to get pretty much everyone involved in sports. And in fact, 93% of Norwegian kids are involved in some kind of organized sports. So you could say in a way it's a game of numbers. So yes, we have a small population, but we get almost all the kids involved in organized sports. But that in itself does not explain why we have become so successful in so many different sports. And here is the key. Here is the key. And I'm saying this as someone who has been involved in elite sports most of my life, most of my adult life, and also as a youth or junior lifter. And this will provoke some people, we give everyone a prize. Yeah. And I know it's very popular to think that if all the kids get a prize, you're not encouraging them to become winners. But here's where people get it wrong. You see, in order to find the kids, the very few kids who will become Olympic champions, You need to keep a lot of kids doing sports for a long time. You need to keep them motivated. You also need to see them. They need to be seen. They need the attention. They need to feel that you believe in them as a coach. And that's why when you're a kid here and you do some kind of competition, you get a prize. Of course, the winners get the winner's prize and so on, but the key here is to give all the kids attention. We want to keep them included, and we want to keep them in sports for a long time. So it irritates me when people say things like, well, you know, the millennials and whichever generation it's popular to hate, they give everyone a prize and we don't make winners that way. Well, it's not that simple. Let's say you start doing sports as a 5 or 6 year old, you know, you will be doing maybe cross-country skiing or football, you know, something lots of kids do, you know, and you do that for a while. Maybe you want to try something else. Maybe you try karate or taekwondo or running, you know. You move on to that. And maybe that's not for you either. So you move on again. And it doesn't cost so much money. I know there are some people who will say that the equipment costs money and so on, but relatively speaking, doing sports as a kid in Norway it's quite cheap. I know there are probably some exceptions. I've heard that golf and tennis is very expensive, but don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. But as a general rule, if you're a child in Norway, you will be able to try out many different sports. And you will be included and you will be seen. You will get the chance to develop your interests and talent and so on. And this is how it's supposed to be. You know, we tend to forget that these are kids. And to excel at a sport, in most cases, you need to start quite early on. There are exceptions, like my sport, powerlifting. You can't really start lifting heavy weights until you're, I would say, 14, 15. But people disagree on that. But so that's an exception. I think the Norwegian model is about understanding that people, and especially children, need to be seen. They need to feel that they matter. And if you feel that you matter, you will be motivated to go that extra mile, or to run that extra mile, to do that extra workout. You know, it's about motivation. And of course you might say that, well, Norway is such a rich country and so on and so on. And yes, that might be true, but other countries have the same resources channeled to sports as well, you know, the same resources. And some countries have much more, you know, without getting the same results. We also think more long-term, I feel, than many other countries. We understand that an athlete, high-level athlete, should have many years of competing on the international scene, and we don't do like, you know, when I met, typically as a junior lifter, when I met lifters from Eastern Europe and those countries, they would be, I got the impression that they, dare I say that their coaches and their nation, they didn't care about them. And they used them up, if you get my meaning. and they typically didn't last long. And that's obviously not only unethical but also very destructive. And that's not how we do it here in Norway. So I hope I busted some myths here. We have proven that giving everyone, all the kids, attention works. That's how you get them to do sports for a long time. And of course, I have been talking about, high level, elite level sports now, but having people, a lot of the population being active as a lifestyle has tremendous positive effects for health. Obviously, we are quite active in Norway. We go hiking a lot, and most people will not be elite athletes, obviously. But if you get that habit as a child already, that it's fun to do sports. It's where you meet your friends. It's a social setting for you. You'll probably keep doing it, and that's good for you. That's healthy for your body, obviously, but also for your mind. I just found out that I have forgotten my coffee, so I'm boiling up water for no for no reason at all. But anyway, I will sharpen my axe now. And if you're interested in learning how to sharpen your axe, you can click on this thumbnail above me somewhere. That will be on my outdoors channel, and you might find it interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Until then, take care. Well, I have the sharpening stone here. Take care. Bye bye.